Okay, to start off, first thing, prepping. And how did I even find out about Sota? Uh, Watching YouTube videos. It was just random. And I loved ham radio. I love field day. I love prepping for field day. I love, camping, all this stuff. And then one day I came across Sota and started looking some more. And I see Jerry's videos. Knew that Jerry was on the same repeater with all the same buddies. Um, just rad. I'd hear the guys on the radio saying, "Hey, Jerry's up on a mountain. Jerry's up on a mountain." I was like, "What? What's going on?" "Oh yeah." So I just I found out he had a YouTube channel. I started watching and it was like, holy cow, this is rad. Do you like this shirt? Can you read it? "The harder we work, the harder it is to lose." One of my favorite quotes, Vince Lombardi. I've had this shirt since I was 20. It's been 19 years. It's my semi-pro football team shirt that I play for, Orange County Makos. What I did for about 3 or 4 months, going into, pretty much through the whole fall of 2017, I started watching videos, acquiring gear, like finding out packs, shoes. I mostly was like looking towards like camping on a lot of mountaintops. That was kind of like my thing, what I really wanted to do, because I love camping. I was like, why not just go up, play ham radio, like field day up on the top of a mountain? And that was that's what really spiked my interest. And then later on, as I got into it, obviously you don't have that much time off work. You can't just spend 2 days away from home. You got things that you got to do, so it turned into a bunch of day hikes. And but this year, now that I hit a lot of these mountains and I spent a night up on a couple big ones, being Mount Whitney and San Gorgonio, um, two of the biggest mountains in, biggest mountain in Southern California, biggest mountain in, Sierra Nevada. I didn't go on the summit and camp, but anyways, as a trail camp, 12,000 feet. It was a lot of fun. In I think December, I got my first QSO with Jerry.
Whiskey 6 Romeo India Papa. Whiskey 6 Romeo India Papa. Hey Jerry, this is Kevin. I'm in Huntington Beach. You are a 333333. Over. 5858, copy that. Right on. I caught you on the Sota spotter or Sota watch, and wanted to jump on and say what up. Right on, brother. Be safe up there, and I'll keep on listening. Yeah, totally, man. Can't wait. Yeah, I watch all your vids, dude. They got me kind of motivated. I got all my shit together, and I can't wait to get out there and hit my first summit. Yeah, it's cool. I did a video on like a gear check. I just went out the top of like right across from Baden Powell. Just wanted to do like I hiked up about a mile just to see how everything would work out, and I was able to do 20 meters, 40 meters, 80 meters, and it all worked out pretty good. So I'm ready to go. Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
When you first start Sota, you don't understand what poundage is, what weight is. I did a first little hike up to a mountaintop. Kind of not really a mountaintop, but anyways, a nice little hike up. I had freaking everything. Man, my pack was 70 pounds. Had my 7-pound tent that was like, it's called like the Battle Mountain. Thing was like ready for anything. It's probably bulletproof too. I don't know. But I had that. I had a nice sleeping bag, a down sleeping bag. So that worked out well. I brought my 460 case there were any bears. That thing weighed like 4 pounds, 3.5, 4 pounds just by itself. Um, this it was. I had my 891 that was probably about 4 pounds. The tuner with it. The battery alone was a lithium iron phosphate battery, but it was a 12 amp hour. Actually, this one right here. This is the first battery that I took up with me to run my 891 thing solid, but carried up a mountain. I mean, and that's as light as you can get for a battery that size of that kind of amperage. Putting out, I mean, it's like 3 pounds. So, anyways, had that, had everything I needed, and my first antenna that I started doing portable with was a chameleon impasse setup. So I could run a wire. I had the vertical. I could run, the wire with the counterpoise. I mean, I had options, but that also weighed a decent amount, maybe 1 or 2 pounds. So all in all, I did my little hike up, 70 pounds. It was ridiculous. So I cut everything down, and basically I went on my first Sota hike up to Mount Islip, and I was able to get my pack down to 35 pounds because I didn't have the tent, I didn't have the sleeping bag, or the sleeping pad. I didn't bring my pistol, or my 460. I think I did bring my smaller pistol. I think a 9mm, if I remember. When you first get out there and going in the woods, you hear lots of stories. And I came back. Whenever I was hiking those mountains, it was hunting. I was scouting for hunting. So there's mountain lions, there's bears, there's things that can happen. There's the two-legged critters that are whack out there. It just, or planting drugs, whatever. There's all kinds of stupid shit going out there in the woods. But if you stay on the main trails, you pretty much don't come across any of that stupid stuff. And a lot of the trails are very well, like, there's a lot of activity. So there can be no bears, there can be no mountain lions. You don't got to worry about nothing. So if you can find a trail on when you're mapping on like guy, and there's and you read, there's videos on it, and you look on I think Peak Finder's a good one. All kinds of reviews on mountaintops, and I'll go into that later when planning. But yeah, so you stay on those kind of things. You don't have to worry about that stuff. And eventually, I stopped bringing my pistol with me. It was just extra weight. First, came the planning, the mapping. What mountains did you want to hike? Where are you finding out about them? You look at the Sota database, you start mapping them on there. Then next thing you do, you start watching YouTube videos on, Ice House, Saddle Trail, this trail, that trail, this mountain, that mountain. Whoa. After watching YouTube videos and, see what trails look like and what trailheads look like, and Jerry had a lot of awesome videos on that, get me started. Then it turned into all trails. Looking up Sota peaks in the area, then looking up on all trails, and seeing if somebody's got any feedback on that trip, or if it was mapped already. That always helped when there's already tracks laid down for you, and you can just get to the site and follow the tracks. And then the next thing, Gaia. After hiking, did a couple activations, I think, and then I went out with Jerry one time. We went to Arctic Point, and he told me about Gaia, which I took onto that, and that thing's just been the best ever since. So still have all trails. I can still reference it. I use that to reference the trail to go up to Split Mountain, because there's nothing in Gaia about it. So people have uploaded their trails to that. So that got me to the trailhead and up, and all that good stuff. So I mean, both apps, being able to run both of them, obviously there's more data. Knowledge is power. Radio setup. My first radio was the FT891. Before I even did a Sota hike, and I knew I wanted to go portable, I went with the FT891. Awesome DNR, awesome wattage. I was like, man, I want to take 100 watts to the top of the mountain and just boom it, because I know when you go out for field day, it's rough out there sometimes, but then when you learn to spot and people are actually looking for you and listening for you, that makes all the difference in the world. So took the 891, had the tuner, did all that stuff on my first activation, and had the chameleon impasse antenna. Realized it was too heavy, so basically from radio, after that hike, I went home and bought the KX2. there's no doubt that was the best investment as far as doing Sota and wanting to hike mountains. If you're looking at hiking long trails, steep trails, with a lot of gain, um, you cannot go wrong with the KX2. That's it. And I'm sure I think there's like some other versions, some Chinese versions out there that are small like the KX2, but the KX2 is just it. And I remember when we first went out on our me and Jerry went on to Arctic Point, and I had the KX2, and I didn't even have my antenna set up that well. That was the first time I took a nice super thin stealth wire antenna, 26 gauge, and I didn't know how to really set it up, but I would receive real well, but I wasn't transmitting real well. But he had his antenna, I had mine, and then we were listening to Tony over in Florida, and he could barely hear him on his 817. I think the Yaesu 817. That's what a lot of people start out with, which is an awesome all-around radio, but just it was noisy, you know. So when you get this SDR radio KX2, you just the receive is insane. So you're really picking up those weak signals. So got the KX2 and never looked back since or anything else. You know, I was looking at the KX2, the KX3. Which one am I gonna do? I had it all kind of set up, but KX3 is a little bit bigger. Went with the KX2, and I'm super happy with it. Antennas. Like I said, I first started out with the Chameleon impasse system. Watched a lot of good YouTube videos on it. Very versatile. Worked really well. All the bands with the tuner. You can tune it on 80 even, which is pretty awesome. So, but after that, after knowing it weighted so much, I went to that 26 gauge speaker wire, or not even speaker wire. I went to the 26 gauge stealth wire, bought it at the HRO. Worked that. That stuff is just so thin. So thin. It gets tangled easily. It's very light. My cat's knocking at the door, wants to come in. After I had that antenna, I felt like it wasn't radiating that well, and it could have been just the way I was setting it up. I wasn't doing it vertical and then counterpoise. I was kind of doing it like angled, kind of like a sloper with the counterpoise. And just starting out, I don't know if I did it right, but anyways, I wanted something that I started hearing and listening, like maybe a little bit thicker wire would radiate better for voice. I mean, the thin stuff probably goes CW all day, but so I went to a thicker wire. I went and got a 16 gauge speaker wire, and Jerry had made he had his antenna, so speaker wire worked great. So I went with 16 gauge. It was going to be just for strictly 20 meters. So I was going to go thicker. I knew it was going to be kind of heavier, but I wasn't really worried about that. I just want to get my signal out. I want people to hear me. I bought a tuner. I made a vertical with a counterpoise for 20 meters. I did another one for 40 meters, but obviously it's a lot longer, so it's not as practical on the summits. So I've been taking that 20 meter one with me, and it works awesome. And as far as like during the day, 20 meters is the way to go. 40 is good for close, but it is noisier. If a lot of the times the chasers around here that are local, you can hit with 2 meters on some of these peaks. So 40 wasn't really that necessary. So I was just running 20 and having fun with it, talking all the way around the country every time. So that was rad. And then after that, I went and made a speaker wire just like Jerry's, using the 16 gauge, so it was heavier. It did really well, and it still does really well. I just haven't been bringing it lately. I went probably about a good 4 months with only taking that one out and working wonders with it. So very, very solid antenna. That one was one that was specifically perfect for when I went up to San Gorgonio and camped overnight, and I was able to run it out of my tent. The other one, you are not going to run it out of your tent because it's connected directly to radio. So this one, the other speaker wire antenna, it's got the twin lead, and you can run it into your tent and have fun with it. I just recently went out and made that 80 meter one. Used that just last night for winter field day. Got out with that on 40 meters. A couple of local guys heard me on 80, but it's still kind of early, so it's kind of noisy. And then, I got out on 40 with it, and it worked all right. I mean, it is very long. It's thin. You just string it up in the trees. I tried using it once on Onyx Peak, and this is all after my first year or whatever. This is right. It's still January, so I started last January. So, anyways, when you go out there and it's super windy, and you have a very, very thin wire, and it's just like, it's nuts. I mean, windy peaks are fun, but they're not that fun. they're hard. They're yeah. But anyways, it's good practice. Packs. When I first started and I was looking at my packs, what I wanted to wear, I got a 60-liter Osprey 8th year pack from REI. Solid pack. Very strong hip belt. To keep all the weight off your shoulders. So if you're going real heavy, it's good to get a nice solid pack. It weighed about 3 pounds, so a little on the heavier side as far as packs go, but it makes up for it the way that you carry that weight. So love that thing. From there, I went to a Z-Packs, super ultralight, made out of, I can't think of the material right now, Cuban fiber, made out of Cuban fiber. So that's that my Z-Packs pack is about 20 ounces. It's got a very small frame in it. It's super light. It's waterproof. That Cuban fiber. So that thing is perfect for going outdoors in any kind of weather. A lot of thru hikers use those. There's also some other varieties, ultralight packs out there, but Z-Packs was a cool one. Nice small company, and they got a lot of good feedback from all the thru hikers that use them, and they stick behind their product. So I went with that one. Pricey, a few $100, but it's held up. I've used it on a lot of hikes, and it's still holding up real well. Hopefully it'll keep lasting. So anyways, my third pack that I use, I ended up going just for the day hikes. I bought the Osprey Talon, the 22-liter pack. That thing's rad. It's super light. It holds everything you need for a day hike, especially in the summertime. And summertime, fall, spring, you're not really worried too much about all the extra gear that you need for winter, the extra layers that you need to bring, and just in case. It's the Osprey Talon was a very solid pack. That thing's still perfect. All three of those packs, after hiking, I did 40 mountains last year and did a couple already this year. All three of them, I haven't had any issues with them. Nothing's breaking, nothing's tearing, ripping. You take care of them, and they take care of you. So testing your gear and knowing your stuff and having a backup plan and making sure you have all your connectors, your antennas, your just going through everything and make sure you have everything before you go. Your mast, your hooks for the mast, a little bit extra duct tape, zip ties are always good to have. Those things come in handy. So always have some duct tape and zip ties. You can MacGyver something up. When you get up there, you got to have options. You got to be able to fix. There's little things. Bank line is awesome. Having 10 or 15, 20 feet of that. You'd use that to throw up things in the trees and whatnot. So just having a couple extra little things, it's worth its weight. Definitely when you get up there to be able to, if something did go wrong or something wasn't is what you expected, you can make something happen. A little tip, if you have a seat pad, one of those Z-Seat foam sit pads, be careful when you take it up to certain mountains that have lots of very strong pine needles. I think it was East Twin Peaks that I went up, and a lot of times I just use my seat pad just to put my knees on it, and I don't even sit on my butt, but I sit on my knees. But anyways, the pine needles up there were they're like little needles, like real needles. So anyways, they got into the seat pad. I didn't realize it. I took it to my next. I think I went up to. It's like Sanji. I don't know. No, it wasn't Sanji. I did Sanji earlier. I think. Yeah, when I got up to Mount Whitney. I went up Mount Whitney and I was using my sit pad to stand on because when I took my socks off, my shoes off, I was airing my feet out, and I stood up because I didn't want to put my sweaty feet on the dirt and get all muddy kind of in a way, but I stepped on the seat pad and one of those pine needles went right into my freaking foot. It sucked. I had to dig it out. It's like 30 degrees and it was annoying. So anyways, if you get one of those things, be careful what you sit it on and what it does to you. The things it's going to take to another mountain and jack you up. And everybody wants everybody to be successful. That's the bottom line in this game. It's not a competition. We're all striving for the same goal. We all want to get to Mountain Goat. We have different ways of doing it. Jerry's doing it his way, getting all unique summits. And it's going to make it harder and take longer, but he's probably going to be the only guy to ever do that, which is going to be pretty badass. So just learn and ask questions. We're all on Twitter all the time and Facebook and YouTube. Everybody wants everybody to win. If I missed anything, or you have any questions about anything, comment in the comment down there, and you know, I answer all my comments. You can look at all my videos, and I would say probably about 99% of the comments have another comment from me answered back. There's a thank you. Mostly it's just thank you because I get a lot of compliments, and I love it. It's incredible. It's great feedback. It's motivating, and it's fun. This is community, is what it is. Ham radio and Sota. So if I miss something, and you have a question about something, ask. If I don't know, I will find out. Wait, real quick. We're not done. I want to show you guys something. I am the new region manager of Whiskey 6 Southern Sierra. Totally stoked. Very happy about it. Very honored that I was asked to do it. Let's see if you can see that. You see that? Yeah. You know, if anybody has any questions, email me, and I'd be more than happy, you know, work side by side with you and map this stuff out, and then maybe even later on, you know, go hike it with you. Catch you later. I'm out. Push button to stop record.